Hello, everybody. It is live stream time. You know who this is, but you don't know who you are. But I know who I am. And I am your Colonial Champion, Sean McCarty, and welcome once again to another live stream. Today, we are doing the match of the week. Now, I said it on the description. I'm sure you didn't hear me, but I'm going to break it down for you anyway. Match of the week now is going to be a live stream, at least until we get all of the fantasy drafting stuff done and over with, which I am very excited to share with you all of the fun things that we're going to be doing on the actual podcast when we do the fantasy booking and our own separate shows and all that. And shout out to Skylar Greenberg as well, who is now being a more active member of the Colonial Colony, which is a redundant, yes, and part of the Department of Redundancy Department, but still a great time nonetheless to be had. That's going to be on Friday. Today, we are doing several things. The first thing, obviously, is we're going to be doing a match of the week. And our match of the week this week is Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. I have not seen this match. I have never seen this match before, so this is going to be something brand new for me. I'm happy to see Jinder win the belt. I mean, I'm all for Jinder Mahal winning this belt. No, get me wrong. But I've never actually seen the match before because I was smarky, even smarkier than I am now at the time, and wasn't watching many shows. And speaking of, before we actually get into this, because I don't have any time because we're doing all the fantasy booking this show, I had some questions that y'all asked that I want to address first. And I'm going to do, this is going to be like a little mini podcast on the live stream before we get into the thick of it. And for those of you who did not see the link to this match, or the match that we're going to watch, and didn't see what one it was, if you go back into the most recent Core Martial podcast, actual podcast proper, go into the description, it is in there, is the Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal match at Backlash 2017. WWE just opened it up to YouTube just, I want to say a week ago maybe, and I found that and I said, this is perfect. Backlash is right around the corner, which leads me to the first question y'all asked. Am I going to be watching Backlash? No, I am not. After Money in the Bank, I kind of got this little queasy pit in my stomach. I'm going to have to probably dilute it with watching territories and watching some good, somewhat well done wrestling, because not everything was terrible from that old era, but not everything was great from that old era either. You gotta, I appreciate both. Anyway, I'm not watching Backlash. I have no interest unless they're I'm not watching wrestling unless they're fans in the audience again. And this is no knock on anybody. I understand it's a pandemic, but it's not. I can't do it. It's not my cup of tea. Next question y'all asked: what do you think about the revival on AEW? Well, to answer that, I am going to defer to a good friend of mine, and I only call him a friend of mine because I've been on his podcast 3 times, and they've only said my name, but that's my man Jim Cornette. You want to know how I feel about the revival? Jim Cornette got the revival on Jim Cornette's podcast, and it is gold. It is absolute gold. It's worth listening to. You want to hear a bit about Vince McMahon and about his style? Go there. Seriously, I know I'm a big fan of Cornette, but Cornette aside, you barely hear Cornette. It's all worth hearing just the revival. I mean, obviously hear Cornette because it's Cornette, but still worth the watch. Definitely get it. I'm excited. If FTR does what they're planning to do in AEW, I might just tune into AEW more. Maybe. I got a question here right live, and why did Josh again give? Oh, this is Skylar. Hello, Skylar. Why did Josh give me 2 midgets and an 80-year-old drag queen? Why are you asking me? I was there at the same podcast. I saw the same things you saw. So I don't know. I don't know, Sky. You're gonna have to ask him, and he's gonna have to have some explaining to do. And I'm hoping he's actually gonna get onto the podcast going on Friday. Next question you had: Nia Jax injuring Kairi Sane. She got pushed too early, in my opinion. I said that from the start, and everyone's going to say I said that from the start. I genuinely did say that from the start, that Nia Jax came up way before she was She had a terrific barn burner of a match with Bayley because Bayley sold her ass off, which she always does. Bayley did a great job in that match. And Nia looked good then at the time, and she's had her moments, but I think that she didn't get the polish that she needed because Vince saw a big, monster heel. She saw monster heel and went, we got to bring her right now. I would say the same for Braun. Braun kind of got himself into it, at least. Like, he worked himself into being a pretty good worker. But it took some time. I mean, there was a lot of inexperience with him too. Nia, it was just she wasn't able to rein in her strength, and she never really had anyone on the main roster, I guess, telling her not to. I don't know. I genuinely don't know what the deal is with Nia Jax. What is to do with her? I'd like this. I know people would be upset because they're like, nobody touch my NXT like it's a fucking ego. But I genuinely think she needs to go back to NXT. And if she had more time, honestly, if she had more time and she could work some decent matches with some of these female wrestlers, if they were really working with her and really trying to continue to develop what Nia Jax is and was, and not nearly beating Dean Ambrose on TV. Remember that? I am Pepperidge Farm, members. Water break. Gotta stay hydrated. Keep your body hydrated. If you haven't, you know what? This is my spot. This is my spot right now. We're gonna take a side step. I'm gonna drink water. Drink water right now. I don't care how thirsty you're not. I don't care how hungry you is. Get some water. Drink some water. Y'all need to stay hydrated. Just drinking water helps a ton with everything in your life. Just trust me on that one. Drink water. Everybody drink water. This has been your H2O spot of the day. And now, speaking of NXT, have I watched In Your House yet? I have not. I have not had the time to watch In Your House. And the thing with In Your House is I think it's a cool idea, but I have a feeling that the way that this came about, and this is just a guess, but my guess is the way that this came about is that somebody was walking through the Performance Center one day, just chilling, looking at the warehouse, seeing everything that's going on there, and then just like looked around and saw those mats and was like, oh, we could use those probably still. Hey, you guys want to take over from them? Oh, well, we got the sheets. They're in here. Boom. And now we had In Your House. I heard it was good. I don't know. Can anyone who watched it tell me what went down? Because I'm not so sure myself what it is that took place. I know that Adam Cole won, and that's one thing. That's as good, I guess. I like Adam Cole a lot. I'm not a big. I like Velveteen, but I also think the Velveteen Dream is quintessentially WWE, is copying all the moves and doing. He's good stuff. I've liked his he's had gimmick, and it's over with the crowd, and that's a big part of what needs to happen as well. Is it just needs to be a little more. How do you say? It needs to be more grit and less showmanship, but this is WWE, so I'm not knocking them for teaching him to be them, if that makes sense, because that's what they're gonna do. But I do plan on watching In Your House. Who knows? Maybe it'll end up on one of these live streams before too long. Then we have. Oh yes, someone asked me because I mentioned it. I think it just was brought up, but I feel the need to mention it. We're gonna do another plug. Because I just didn't have the inspiration to do it. Just in the past year or so, I've done it fairly, and I've had a series of back issues over the course of my better. I could tell that I'm fixing a lot of crap. As a fan, I won't be afraid to tell this too. As a wrestling fan, you know how they all say, like, do not try this. I was fighting the Invisible Man before fighting the Invisible Man was cool. And I did that for far too long in my life. And I was taking bumps and actually jumping off things. And I did it I seriously way too long. Way too long. And so I know that I've done a good amount of damage on my body, and that's something I'm just going to have to. And that's something that actually this DDPY is really helping me work out a lot of those kinks and identifying where the problems are and what kind of things I'm going to need to fix and what's already deteriorating, what might deteriorate later, what I need to position, what I can hold back. And it's honestly doing wonders. Diamond Dallas Page is a miracle worker. And if you have not given the chance and put some money down to get this stuff, and I'm not being paid by DDPY, he has nothing to gain from me. I'm just touting the success I've had. I've really, really enjoyed it. And I advocate anyone who's got any sort of back pain, knee pain, or just want to like lose weight, or just help their body. Just help their body. It genuinely just helps your body. It's so easy. I mean, it's gonna kick your butt. It's gonna kick your big old patootie, but you have so many venues and avenues of making it the way you want it to work for you that it just. I advocate 100% DDPY. That was the whole point I'm trying to make with this. So now let's talk about the subject matter at hand. Jinder Mahal. This is not a superstar spotlight. I want to talk specifically about his reign and his injury. His most recent injury. Jinder Mahal, I didn't give a toss about because he was in the stupidest gimmicks there were. With 3M, and all three of those guys were better in that gimmick. I truly believe. And then Jinder got this random return into the markets in India, and then that's the best way to do it, I guess. So they book him to beat Randy Orton. Weird, because Jinder had no reason to be in that position. He's in perfect shape. There's nobody who can deny that he's in perfect shape. Been kind of but I don't think he really had enough time to showcase what he was able to do. His promos obviously got better and better each week. I thought they were kind of dumb because it was a Jinder. I think Jinder, talking about some of the disadvantages he's gone through as he moved, would be a big way to cultivate that and actually base some of it in reality. Why that was, they just wrote dumb stuff for him. I guess that'd be the way I would phrase it. They just, in any event, Jinder is a great to make him feel like a threat prior to him getting that championship opportunity. So I'm seeing a lot of instability on this live stream here. It's being a little shaky. Here is, we're going to, I haven't tasted it yet, but it is a double IPA Chaos Emeralds by Lone Pine out of Portland. And that is going to be my match of the week beer of choosing. So now, with stream issues bay, we're going to pop this sucker open. And we're going to try and get into this. Sure that it's only going to get more, I can only imagine that this is going to get additionally unstable as we continue watching this match. But we will do the best we can, given the circumstances. So with that said, now if you have this match ready to go, I'm going to count you down. And this is 21 minutes, Randy Orton, Jinder Mahal, match of the week. And I guess it would be appropriate. I don't know how much you're going to be able to hear it, but I guess it would be appropriate if I finally did my match of the week. I promised I did a teaser. I've got a special surprise of the match of the week song, and you're going to hear it live, or as live as I'm going to be allowed to do it, because it seems like YouTube is being a little poopy face at the moment, which is not surprising at all. This is YouTube. But let's get this going. 30 seconds. Let's see if I remember how to even do this, which is going to be all right. So this is either going to be good, it's going to suck. There is going to be a fully fledged edited version of this. And I hope you'll be able to hear this. So let's get this going. I'm gonna put this a little closer just in case. What time is it? It's the fight, it's the brawl, it's the match of the week. It's tonight, watch along with the son of a beat. It's one fall, they down for the 1, 2, and 3. So don't stall, hang on to the edge of your seat. We gonna punch and a flip and a powerbomb too. All the moves and the stars all under review. See the baby face cheer, then the heels get heat. This is wrestling at its peak. It's the match of the week. And that is your no. Once was enough. Once was enough. That is your match of the week. You have now heard it here first. Match of the week. That is going to be our intro, but I'm going to polish up and get it all video edited and real nice like and cool looking for all y'all. But now you have heard what it's supposed to sound like. And those of you who did not watch this don't know. So thank you for tuning in. And it is always appreciated when you guys tune in to something like this. So let's get this going. It is now time to watch Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. Let's see all the shenanigans that happen, because it's going on in 3, 2, 1. Play. Orton and Jinder. Oh, God, don't give me in-ring intros, please. Please. Oh, God. All right. Let's see make this happen. Yeah. Look at Jinder Mahal. People did not care. It's funny, he's actually getting some cheers. The thing that was interesting about Jinder is that, like, he came so out of nowhere that people were actually kind of excited for something new. And this was also right after the Bray Wyatt and Orton feud. Oh, Orton wasn't wasting any time. Now we're going right into this. Tom Phillips. I like Tom Phillips. It's kind of a shame that he kind of followed the Michael Cole brand of pro wrestling. Oh, but Orton's getting some. He's getting some pops. I love Orton just like casually took care of JBL's hat, just gently placed it from one to the other, didn't want it to get hurt. It's like, no, JBL, that's an expensive hat. I has respect for you. Nice toe kick. Watch Orton. Orton's gonna guide the pace of this. He's guiding Jinder through this whole thing. Yeah, Orton with that composure. This is still before he got a little, everyone said that Jinder's been a little too methodical, but it's amazing that they had Jinder go 20 minutes just on like his first big world title opportunity. I almost feel like this could have been better served shorter, but this is WWE, so they're going to milk a lot of this time. Oh, now the bell rings. Didn't the bell ring before? Orton tried to go for an RKO. Okay, that was good. Orton goes to roll in for the kill. Jinder rolls back out. Take it. Man, what a douche. Avoiding conflict. Oh. Shoulder first into the LED panel. That looked hurtful. Looked meaner than a one-tooth service lady at the flea market. Is it like a key lock? Oh, he turned it into a key lock. I wasn't sure what it was to start with, but now it's a key lock. That's at least a move. Now Orton calling his shit. Hey, look at that. Covering the mouth over the camera. Covering his mouth just enough to know where the camera was so he could call the next move. Brilliant by Randy. Oh, nice drop kick by Jinder. Oh, nice pairing of the crowd. Pretty divided. A lot of people rooting for Jinder, though. I like this. Don't hinder Jinder, man. I liked the move. I liked the move. It was different for WWE, even though there was a clear-cut business reason why they did it. I still think Jinder was deserving of the shot and of the title win. And they protected the Colossus a lot. I always feel like even when Orton's a babyface, he was working as a heel. Because, like, all of those stomps, yeah, I know that's vintage Orton, blah, 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 but, like, that's not really babyface stuff, is it? That was actually a good move, that arm breaker by Jinder Mahal. He should have gone. He should have gone for more of the arm. That's one thing. Yeah, they really should. He should have focused on the arm there. He should have gotten right back on him rather than going for that knee drop. Now, at least he's starting to build on it, but I don't think that move on the shooting off the ropes into the knee drop was really worth it and added anything to it. Well, that wasn't even that was a pretty bad. Oh, that was a pretty bad hook to the ropes. But I also remember when Mahal botched Jeff Hardy's oh god. So they went to the announce table a second time, but the first time I guess was before the bell. But if they were just gonna come do it here, then why not just do it here? This was it. It would have felt better if they had not done the announce table chicanery prior to. The Ty Dillinger 10 count, where every count is 10. Byron Saxton. And it's JBL on this one, right? I don't hear Corey Graves' incessant crap. Yeah, somehow I'm actually really enjoying Corey Graves not being on commentary. In fact, I will have to say this commentary team of JBL, Byron, and Tom Phillips is actually downright passable. Maybe Corey Graves is more of a part of me disliking the Raw the commentary team than I had suspected. This is interesting. It's an interesting development. Back to that key lock. Still working on the shoulder. At least that's been consistent. I'll have to say that's consistent that they've been working on that. It's kind of weird to see Orton fading from a key lock. Orton being so subtle with his calls. It's brilliant. So far, this match has not been bad. We've got the Singh brothers here. It's kind of been nice to see they haven't done anything yet, but I know they're going to. And the idea of telling the story of shoulder to shoulder is also a good idea. I'm doing a good job keeping that arm dead in front of him. I mean, you can't ever deny that Orton doesn't know what he's... You can't say he doesn't know what he's doing, because he really... Orton really is doing a good job of making Jinder look and feel on par. Superplex. That's the attempt. Holding on the same shoulder. This is not going to end well for Jinder. Yep, nope, and it didn't. And there's the disinterest. He gets hit in the nuts. And that's Orton as a babyface. He gets hit. Jinder gets hit in the nuts, and the crowd does not react. People are really losing interest in this, which is a shame. There we go. I wonder how much crowd noise they pumped into this video. Man, and Jinder really only got into position on the second half of that. Let's say Jinder's hand, his punches look good. For as many punches as people give each other now. That is vintage Randall Keith Orton. It actually is pretty good. It's based on Sonic stuff. You'll cruise through this beer faster than the blue hedgehog we can't legally talk about. It's on the bottle. What was that? Was that supposed to be a neck breaker? Jinder, what was that? But he slammed the shoulder down. I mean, I guess that counts. And God, these fans are so disinterested. You know why? I think this match should have been shorter. They'd cut this in half. They really could have made Jinder a star here. I think that the long match equals good match attitude is actually does Jinder a disservice here. I think if they cut this match in half, fans would have been a lot more into it. Oh, there you go. See, I knew that somebody had to say it. Thanks, JBL. Some kid just used the John Cena foam finger to do a cero mierda. I love that. And you know what? That's great because I'm wearing the Pentagon Junior shirt today. Penta Zero Mierda. I'm not a Spanish professor, so I know I'm not saying it right. The good old Jinder Mahals. You knew. Randy. Oh, now the smear things. Did the Singh brothers ever do anything meaningful for Jinder other than just stand there to get their ass kicked for him? I'm just saying, it kind of seems like he never... kind of doesn't seem like the Singhs ever got much offense in. They were just there to that was another weird sell. Including getting their ass kicked all the time. We're just going to pick different color suits and get our ass kicked in different color shirts. Third time they've gone to the announce table. One was all you... Oh, I'm sorry. Fourth time they've gone to the announce table. Like, we really needed 4 announce table spots. And now Orton just doing more random... That was a crazy... Yeah, that was a pretty rough sell. So yeah, that was either Samir or the other one landed like straight on his head. He went to do the backdrop, but he over-rotated. The Singh brother over-rotated, like landed on his head and neck, and then Orton was like, "Yee!" And he went down to check on him, like, "You good, man?" But now Orton's spending too much time on the Singh brothers, letting the modern-day Maharaja recover. Oh, he's going to do the double DDT. And then you see Jinder like crawling around to the other side. He's getting ready for a Colosseum to end this match, which would have been nice 10 minutes ago. But they milked that key lock forever. They could have done this in half the time with the exact same amount of moves, and we'd be in a lot different place. And the cover, and that's it. And look how fucking nobody believes it. Look at I love all the guys laughing. They're like, there's no way that they just did this. Look at this. Everyone's laughing like hell. The fan reaction is gold. The fan reaction is gold. They're like, no. No way this just happened. Hell is frozen over is a great sell. Great sell by JBL. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, this is great. So many smarks with their panties in a wad. Look at this guy. The guy looks like he's contemplating all his life choices. Kevin Dunn, I got to give you A grade marks for capturing the fan reaction here. That was beautiful. That was absolutely. Can't believe the fans. Oh God, they're so love it. This is amazing. This was better than I thought it would even be. This is oh, this is gorgeous. JBL keeping the kayfabe alive as Phillips and Saxton looked mouths agape. JBL actually like getting into it. I love it. God, I miss the life that JBL brings. He doesn't sound like he's he never sounds like he's watching the Masters. I don't think this audience can believe that Jinder Mahal is world champion, and that is the best part of this whole thing. You know what? I like this more than I did when it first happened. This is everything he can to put this dude over here. This was great. That was wonderful. That was absolutely wonderful. I don't even have words to describe what I just saw. I just saw the most IWC outrage in a series of still shots that Kevin Dunn grabbed. I have a new respect for Kevin Dunn for getting those dumbfounded looks on the face because it was absolutely tremendous. That was wonderful. I think that for any of you who didn't get a chance to watch this match, I will admit it went way too long. If they'd cut this match in half and just done like a little work on the arm, but really had him cinch it in so that Orton sold the same way, and then you could do a similar finish. I maybe just do one announce table spot, maybe with just the Singh brothers, and leave Jinder out of it. I don't think you needed either of the announce table spots before the match started and in the middle of that. I would much rather see 10 minutes of the same match, more punches, less standing around, because there's a lot of standing around in these matches, and that's WWE style because they're milking it for time. If you had made this 10 minutes and had the same exact outcome, you would have kept the crowd invested in this match and still gotten that dumbfounded, holy crap, I can't believe they did this reaction. And it would be arguably even, you'd probably get more boos for Jinder out of it. You'd probably get more actual heat on him for it, for beating him in 10 minutes. Think about it, because WWE always does these long title matches with you expecting that they're going to be long title matches, unless it's a Brock Lesnar match or like a Goldberg match. But all in all, if you had taken this and you had put it in a 10-minute time frame and said, you're telling me that Jinder Mahal, who had nothing to do with any title picture pretty much up to this point, that Jinder Mahal, the guy who was zero to hero, becoming a world title contender, just beat Randy Orton in 10 minutes. Not even a long, drawn-out match. In 10 minutes, Jinder Mahal whipped this guy's ass. I think that would have made this so much better. But still, the match itself was so-so just because it took too long. But I think that this match was much better than people give it credit for. And because it just is a shame that they booked this exact same finish over and over and over and over again during Jinder's title reign, because if they had done some things where maybe he won clean, or the Singh brothers were in the back, or even just more creative ways for him to still cheat and walk away with the title, but still cheat and not have it just be the Singh brothers interfere, Jinder Mahal, Colossus 1, 2, 3. It would have, if they had gotten more creative with this, I think as far as Jinder's subsequent matches, this whole title reign would be a lot better received and much better recollected. But I do think it was a good match. I think it was a good match. The smarky outrage afterwards was worth if you have to watch this match and you don't want to watch 20 minutes of Randy Orton Jinder, skip to the last 3 minutes. Skip to the last 3 minutes to where Jinder has won, and just watch the fans just try to evaluate what just happened, because that is quality entertainment. With that said, it is time for me to go and do other things, because I am a Colonial Champion who has other things in his life that has to be doing. But stay tuned for Friday, because Friday we're going to do part 2 of our draft, pick 16 through 30. Hopefully Josh again will be there. Skylar Greenberg I know will be there. And I will, as always, be there. And that is on Friday. So thank you very much for watching this live stream. Hopefully we will get some of those streaming issues resolved soon. But if not, it's YouTube. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.